Sometimes to appreciate the present, you have to take a look at the past, and today we're going to be looking at some of the wildest exercises from the last century. I think the main goal here is just not to get injured, because some of these are pretty insane. You ready? Yeah. Here we go. And before we begin, I want to give a huge thanks to TLF. We're wearing their clothes. We love their clothes. If you want some of your own, go to tlfapparel.com. 15% off using code TLF-buff. They just released their new collection. We're wearing them. We're excited. Let's do this. Brandon lost the bet, so he's up with our very first exercise. This one comes 1938, a mighty back. It sounds cool. It does, it sounds very cool. It's got amazing illustrations as well. It says, take up your position with the bells placed between your feet. Got it. With a mighty heave, tear them off the floor. Breathe in and hurl them to arm's length overhead. So heave, tear, rip, extend. Sounds like a Doom song title. You know, I think I may have gotten the title of the book wrong, Brandon. I think it was called Breaking a Mighty Back. I think it was definitely called that.
I'm feeling my breastbone. Yep, I'm feeling that.
Yep.
A little bit of tear in there.
Yep, I see the breastbone spreading.
It's spreading.
It's time to put Brandon in the oven.
Because I'm fucking done. I don't know if that was 18 reps or not, but
that is one of the worst exercises that could possibly ever be done. Never do this exercise. It's horrible. It doesn't do anything for you. It's very dangerous. I was only using 10 pounds. I mean, it felt bad just doing my own body weight. See, I see some dislocation in the shoulder.
It's like popped up. Like,
I'll be like, okay. So we got one exercise down. Let's move on to the next. Yeah. This next exercise comes from the Hercules bodybuilding system. Now, this was displayed in ads in the 1970s in almost every single bodybuilding magazine. It has some strange exercises, but this one in particular is a little odd. It's called the wrist twist curls. And we got it set up right here. Hudson's about to try it out. Okay, stability is definitely a factor here. Yep. So what they're trying to explain here is wrist twist is actually just supination. So that's too sciencey. Okay, that's true. Maybe it was just too confusing. But as you can tell, using some straps, or you can use some towels, and they're wrapped around a barbell, and you're using that so that way you can provide supination with the curl, which is actually a really good thing. But it's a little confusing because I don't know why you wouldn't just use dumbbells. Why you would actually have to use this. It's kind of a little unnecessary and a bit uncomfortable because the towels or the wrist straps can move. So the stability starts becoming an issue. There we go. Wrist twist barbell curls. Now we're moving on to one that I really enjoy. It's called the javelin press. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. You're using a barbell. It's unilateral, and it really is practicing on a lot of stability, specifically in this and the shoulder joint. So you're pressing up with a barbell rather than a dumbbell. It's basically like you're using a barbell as one big dumbbell. You want to make sure you grab it in the center to make sure it's as stable as possible, but it's still going to feel very unstable, as you can tell. So it's gonna force a lot of stability. You gotta really contract the core. You're gonna wanna turn on you a little bit. So it tests your strength and stability quite a bit. That nice shoulder activation. There you go, the javelin press. Pretty awesome exercise. Yeah. The next exercise, and honestly, one that's a little close to our hearts because this is from Steve Reeves himself. Big fan of his, had an amazing physique. He developed his own particular deadlift. And one that's a little odd, so we're gonna be doing the Reeves deadlift today. Hudson's about to perform, as you can tell. It's a very similar setup to a deadlift, but now instead of using the bar, you use the plates. Boom, just like so. What I like about this immediately is you look bigger. Because you get that. That's Steve Reeves, man. The master of the lat spread. Oh yeah, man. You get instead of the invisible lat syndrome, it's actually just a massive lat syndrome. See, you do enough reps of these, you let go. There you go, see? Can you get out of the way, please? Oh God, shit. Ah, God, I'm so big. I can't. Gets a lot of grip in there. Is it necessary? Absolutely not.
as I was about to do more.
These are fun, honestly. It's a fun exercise, a little bit of a test of strength, especially in your grip.
And I was gonna say that to play off you, it does feel like a fun exercise. It feels like an exercise you would challenge your friends to, basically. Who can load up the most on the Reeves deadlift? Brandon was saying, a lot of pinch, a lot of grip strength. It's somewhat of a difficult exercise, but it does feel enjoyable.
Yeah, for sure. So, Steve Reeves deadlift, I think it's a thumbs up.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's Steve Reeves. Now it's saying it's a flex. We are on to our next exercise. We're gonna be utilizing dumbbells again for the monkey or armpit rows.
Yeah, I like monkey rows. That sounds better. Armpit rows sounds dirty.
Sounds a little funky.
Exactly.
So with the monkey rows, it's very interesting because it's gonna be combining basically an upright row with some shrugs. Upright rows, little notorious for the danger involved, and with the monkey rows as well, you're gonna have to have a lot of mobility there in the shoulder joint. How are they feeling, Brandon?
They feel good. Now, one thing immediately sticks out in this, like you're saying with the upright rows, what you're gonna be doing is internally rotating your arms here. So that's a lot of times why people have a problem with upright rows, although there's ways around it using dumbbells. With the monkey rows, you're externally rotating, so it puts your shoulders in a little bit more of a comfortable position, a bit in a safer position for most people, and you're still utilizing that upright row motion, which is actually really amazing. I'm really surprised. I've never heard this exercise or done it, and it's definitely one I'm gonna continue to do for sure.
It almost looks a little bit like an inverted dip in a way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And I could see adding this to our routine because honestly, if you haven't tried it out, give it a shot. It feels really good and it does get plenty of deltoid and trap activation. So monkey row, huge bicep flex.
Oh yeah.
You like this one. The next exercise is called the barbell turns. This one comes from Super Physique Bodybuilding Barbell Course in the 1940s by Sigmund Klein. Brandon?
Sigmund Klein!
Make Sigmund Klein proud.
I'll try. Well, this one you like start in kind of an upright row position. Starting position here, but then you're pressing out all the way, bringing back in, turning, much like a clock. Pressing out again, back, press, back, turn, press, back. You know, it's not uncomfortable. There's some shoulder involvement for sure, because you're having to hold the barbell in that position, so it's really no chest work, but definitely shoulders, and that's about it. I don't know the reasoning for the turning motion there.
It kind of just feels cool. Honestly, yeah. I could imagine this in an old school Van Damme movie.
Yeah, like his training that he's getting prepared for, to like using a staff or something.
And it would go to the montage music too.
Yeah, for sure.
You're working hard and heavier every day. Your barbell turning is the only way. They never win. Oh God, my arm. Oh God. This next one blew me away due to when it was created. 1905 from the textbook of weightlifting by Arthur Saxon.
Wow. So a very old exercise, and one that's really kind of still in use today, at least a similar exercise with the single dumbbell tricep extensions. This is very similar, using a kettlebell. As you can tell, it's just resting on your shoulder, which is actually nice and comfortable. Your upper arm, as you can tell, is a nice vertical position, and you are just extending in the tricep to lift the kettlebell above, bring it back down, just like so. I really like this one because you placing the kettlebell on your shoulder forces you to keep that really good form and positioning in your arm. You really do feel that tricep working big time. A little bit in the shoulder for stabilizing, but whew, what a great exercise, honestly. There you go, look at that. Very simple exercise, a nice deep stretch in the tricep. Utilizing extension in the elbow joint, get the tricep, isolation movement.
And it's crazy to think that this one is over 100 years old.
Definitely a good one, gotta try it out. Big flex.
Yeah. So there we go, some of the wildest exercises from the past 100 years.
Some good, some not so good. You know, some of these really felt like there were some guys in their garage and they were just making shit up as they went and tried to sell it to probably a lot of vulnerable younger guys.
They were the fitness influencers of the 1920s.
100%.
Yeah. So not much has changed. But hey, I gotta give some of these guys credit because so little was known back then, and even now you have people coming out with new research every day. And back then it was the Wild West. So a lot of these guys were just trying to figure out how their anatomy worked. To make an omelet, you gotta break a few eggs, or in their case, pull a few tendons and break a few bones. So thank you, old school dudes, for paving the path.
Oh yeah, and you can tell why a lot of the good exercises has stuck around all these years, because they work, they're great, they're simple and effective. But I think it's interesting to dig in the past to find maybe something that's a little bit of a treasure that's been buried.
Like the monkey rows.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
let us know if you know of any crazy old school exercises, because we always love to try these out, give them a shot. I know there's a few more we haven't done, so let us know.
hell yeah. And until next time,
Stay buff.